Hey there, fight fans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of Combat Sports Talk. Welcome to Combat Sports Talk, a podcast dedicated to UFC and Bellator discussion, the MMA community, and combat sports in general. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and joining me this week is the man with the keys to victory, John Keys.
What up, everybody?
What's up? It's just
man?
me and you. It's just me and you. You know, we didn't even have to use the background tonight. We could just go here. Boom. Big picture. We can go big picture or little picture. We're going to go big picture tonight because it's just the two of us.
It's showing the gooseneck, though. I got a bit of gooseneck here.
You know what you got to do then? You got to turn.
Got to do neck stretches. Yeah. Little
That's
does,
right.
yeah.
Have you seen that it's a big rubber thing that people stick in their mouth and they chew on it to get their jaws stronger? Like, I saw it late one night on like an infomercial.
Is that the thing with the hole in the middle?
Yes, it looks like a giant mouthpiece. Or if you're familiar with Pulp Fiction, you know, the thing you'd give to the gimp. And you sit there and you just bite on it, and it's supposed to strengthen your face muscles, so that you could alleviate any sagging skin that you might have.
I need to find it so we can put a picture on it so people can understand why I'm laughing at it. Okay, because it's hilarious.
Well, maybe while you're doing your trivia facts of the day, I can do a search for it behind the scenes. But I wanted to send a quick shout out, and not really a shout out, but I wanted to say, hey, we are titling this episode 166. The God of War smiles again.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, so check it out. Okay. So, of course, we know that the zodiac sign that's in play right now is
Aries.
We know that Aries is synonymous with war.
Okay. Is that the play we're going? Was that where we're going?
Well, last week, you know how we've celebrated War Weekend. Last week we had fights on 3 different promotions. This week we have fights on 3 different promotions. So in the past 2 weeks, we've had 6 different cards on major promotions. Not, you know, Triller. I'm elevating Triller, but we're gonna count Triller as well. So we're gonna cover the 3 cards from last Saturday, and then we're gonna preview 3 more cards from on this Saturday. So there is a ton of fighting going on in these last weeks of the Aries zodiac sign.
You know, right after Easter, we are choosing violence, and I'm all for that.
That's right. Okay, Lamb came back, and it's like, blam! That ain't no lamb, it's a ram. It ain't no lamb, it's a ram. There you go. I am probably going to get canceled by the Christian right for that.
Nah, bro. If I'm still here and this show is still running, trust me, we're good. We're good. Okay, I promise you, we're good. Right. Because I think I've said quite a few blasphemous things that my nuns from Holy Angel Catholic school would I'm pretty sure they throw quite a few Hail Marys up there for me.
All right. Well, before we go a little bit too far and get struck by lightning, let's go ahead and get into John's random trivia facts of the day.
Man, you want to talk about Hail Marys. Okay, so let it be known that I'm always about doing requests, okay? If you guys want me to research something, I'll research for it, okay? And I'll bring it on the show, all right, if it's funny enough. I promise you. So this one is no exception. I got a request, and I was like, you know what? Why is this request so interesting? And I looked, and I was like, blessed be, okay, sweet baby Jesus in the manger with Mary and Joseph and all the lambs, okay? In the fighting world,
why are you pushing it, man? Why are you pushing it?
What?
You gonna get us struck by lightning? Let's make it through the show.
We're gonna make it through the show. I promise you. Okay, so in combat, in sports. That I remember at UK when Tubby Smith, the great Tubby Smith, basketball coach for University of Kentucky, he said that you either win or you learn. Now that's the first time I actually heard that saying, and it's very true. Either you're winning or you're learning. And by God, people, I think I may have found the ultimate genius of combat. Let's look up Jay Ellis, okay, of Neutral Ground MMA in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This guy, we call Artem Lobov the GOAT. No, people. Jay Ellis is the GOAT. Because his record is an impressive 15 wins, 3 TKO, 12 submissions, 95 losses. That's what I'm talking about. He has fought over 100 times. And guess how many times and let me tell you how hardcore this man is. He's only been to decisions 4 times. That's a warrior. He's going out constantly on his shield. And I'm talking about he's been through the gamut of different types of knockouts and submissions. He's been put in a twister, okay? He's been put in a twister. And the last fight that he had was actually in February of this year. Yeah, it's February of this year.
You can see it. Yeah,
February 6th. Yeah, KO'd in the first minute. That's what I'm talking about. He comes in there, he's clocking the ticket, and don't give me and the 15 wins that he's had has either been by, like I said, 3 TKOs, 12 submissions. So my boy's a grappler. It's just that, yeah.
Hey, but look at who he's fought. So he fought Austin Trotman on February 6, 2021, as a rematch to the fight that he fought in December. Same guy, same result. It just took 14 seconds longer. So he's getting better.
He's learning. That's because he's learning. All right. Let it be said. I think that's the first guy he's ever rematched in this entire learning experience.
So if you're just listening to this, this is one where you want to go and look up Jay Ellis on SureDog. Shout out to SureDog for keeping track of this, or just watch us on YouTube. Because I'm scrolling through the number of fights that he's lost. I don't even know how many fights in a row that he's lost.
He was putting together a 2-fight win streak there. So, yeah.
So here's the question that I have. So this win against Isaiah Pitts back December 2nd, 2017. What do you think Isaiah Pitts was thinking when he took this fight? Because he's got to be thinking like, I'm gonna be one of the many people who's beaten this guy, and then you get submitted by freaking Arm Triangle. Like, your friends got to be like clowning you, right?
Man, you got beat. Okay, that's what they said. I can't even find Isaiah Pitts. Is he still fighting? What was his last fight? Oh my God, I think he may have retired after that. Which
the dude is on a 14-fight losing streak coming into this Isaiah Pitts fight.
Hold up.
And then all
Guess
of a sudden
that was his... he retired. His last fight was in 2017. He said, "No, I can't do it no more."
Okay, so let's switch back. Let's switch back. Because Lepidolite is here, and he is right. Look, check this out. Lepidolite says he fought some great guys early on. He fought Colby Covington. May 16th, 2014. This dude fought Colby Covington.
What?
He also fought Gerald Mearshart.
Guess what? So did Jay. Okay. Wow, Lepidolite. That is awesome. You fought Colby Covington. What was that like? No.
Lepidolite did not fight Colby Covington. This dude, Jay Ellis, fought Colby Covington.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So he's gotten beat. So not only has he been submitted by the many ways, he's also had the brakes beaten off him by the very best. Okay.
Yeah, look, Pat Curran is on here twice.
Man.
Anthony Pettis, as Lepidolite is saying. I mean, even Tommy Lee did it. Wait, that's probably not the same Tommy Lee, but
it probably is the same Tommy Lee. Don't play, okay?
Rory Markham. Like these are some old names too.
Hey, he's getting beat. Hey, just saying, he's getting beat by the best. All
yeah.
Right. Wow.
He got beat by the best, and he got beat by the rest.
Yeah, by everybody. Literally everybody. I think Dan Mergliotta's name is up in there somewhere. So, you know.
So, but all of this to say, I'm gonna go back to the two shot. Is at the end of the day, this guy dared to get into the ring over 100 times. He experienced 95 losses, and his 95th loss was as late as this past February, yet he is undeterred. The dude gets back in the ring. I would almost love to interview this guy just to ask him the question, why do you keep fighting? What is in it for you? And why do you keep going? What drives you to keep fighting?
Do you want me to find him right quick?
I mean, let's not try to find him on the show because we got a lot of show to talk about. But
we got a lot of show to talk about.
Perhaps we can get Jay Ellis to do an interview with us, and we can ask him that one question: why do you continue when you've lost so many fights? There's got to be an answer, and maybe it's, hey, I'm making money every single time I fight. I make a little more money, and I'm losing my way to success. Or maybe it's he genuinely believes that he could win each fight, and it's only a matter of time. What's it called? The law of averages, right? It's only a matter of time before he gets that next win. So I don't know. Let's see if we can't find him and get this interview.
It's like I say, you're winning until you're losing. Okay, it's just that simple.
Well, is the inverse true? Is the question?
Are you losing until you're winning?
This guy is perhaps the guy.
He is welterweight, so I mean, watch this space. Okay, more to come. All right,
we are going to find this guy and we're going to interview him. All right.
Indeed.
So we talked about this at the beginning of the show. I want to go ahead and put this on the screen.
What is it?
We were talking about it before. It's called Jawzercise. That's right, folks. If you want to strengthen your jawline, get rid of that neck fat, then Jawzercise is the tool for you. It literally is. It looks like a BDSM tool.
It's not the one that I was looking. The other one I was looking at was much, much worse. Okay,
this is the one I saw on the whatchamacallit on the. Look at this. You choose your thing. You hang it around your neck. You can walk around with it like it's a medallion, and then you sat there and you just chew on it. I wish I could get a video so you could see how.
$50. Hold on, that was $50.
It's $50 for the toning pack, or the ladies bite kick.
But 99 for the total transformation. Trust me, I don't think you need 99 to be transformed.
So what we need to do is we need to talk to Kalechi, so he could fund this. We need Kalechi to fund this. But John, what we want to do is we're going to get you a Jawzercise.
What?
We want to see your facial transformation.
You know what? I'll just continue to do my neck exercises, 20 turns to the right, 20 turns to the left. I'll just do that. Thank you.
Now, do you alternate them?
Yeah, you do 20 going one way. And I'm not, you know what happened? What fight happened? Okay, what happened in Singapore? All right, what happened in Singapore?
I'm just going to come here and I'm just do this right here. 20 times this way, and then I'm gonna go this way 20 times.
Exactly. Okay, I will gladly do that before I put before I put that in my mouth. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out.
Oh my gosh.
See,
And look,
you talk
guys, we
about
hadn't even
me.
started talking about it yet.
You talk about me and the Catholic nuns. Look at you, sir.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, all right. One of us is still a practicing Catholic, so you know.
I'm senile. I'm senile. You know.
All right, all right.
I keep the good parts. I keep the good parts. You know, good. I
All
still
right.
remember my catechism. Okay,
Very
goodness.
good. Very good. All right, let's get into it. This has been a week of fights, and so we're going to talk all about the action that took place on The Official Decision. This is The Official Decision. This is where we look at the fights from Saturday night, or in this case, Wednesday. And for those of you who caught me, I actually did a YouTube broadcast live for One FC on TNT 1, which was Wednesday night, April 7th, 2021, in Singapore Indoor Stadium in the great city country of Singapore. There were 3 fights on the main card. The first fight of the night was Eddie Alvarez versus Luri Lapicus.
Yes.
And Eddie Alvarez was disqualified for punches to the back of the head. Eddie Alvarez had this dude wrapped up, down, ground and pounded, and basically the guy turned the back of his head while Eddie Alvarez was punching him, and strikes landed to the back of the head, and they got disqualified.
And that, you know what? It was said by several fighters that if you are getting hit and you turn yourself away to that he's striking you and he's not seeing that you're getting struck, that he's striking you in the back of the head, I don't know if that's the fighter's fault. I can't really blame I do not. I agree with Lapidia a lot. I do not agree that should have been a DQ. Okay, he was moving his head to a place where it was going to get DQ, and you know what? I feel for Eddie Alvarez. He was very emotional in the back, and for all the right reasons.
Lapicus was wheeled away on a stretcher, and was taken to the hospital. So this was not something that was just no one's accusing. So okay, maybe one person is accusing Lapicus of playing it, but a lot of people were really concerned. And what I can tell you is that Eddie Alvarez, he was in a position where he's looking out of the corner of his eye to see where those punches are landing. I don't know that he had a really good vantage point to actually see where they were landing. Now, I'm not going to say that those punches were landing in the back of the head. I did see a punch land to the back of the head, in that area right underneath the external occipital protuberance, which is that big bump on the back of your head. External occipital protuberance, external occipital protuberance, external occipital protuberance. That's what you get for having a wife who is a nurse, and you were dating her during nursing school. You learn some anatomy and physiology along the way.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's where you're not supposed to hit. And what you can clearly see is that a punch did land, but not multiple punches. What happened was most of the punches were landing under the on this tendon right here, right on the back of the ear, at the base of the skull. That's where most of the punches were landing. Now, I don't know if that is legal or illegal, because it's kind of back of the head, but it's not fully back of the head. If back of the head means this thing at the base of the skull, then yes, I would say that Eddie Alvarez strikes were legal, because they were mainly landing in this tendon, this very big tendon right here right behind the ear. But
now I will say, out of the 5 strikes, 2 of them were landing right where you were mentioning, but then that's when Lapicus turned himself in and Eddie wasn't really paying attention, and he struck 3 more times. That's when he got the foul. And
But
Eddie jumped up with protest like, "Hey, I was hitting him right here." He wasn't really seeing that how far that Lapicus was turning in, and that's not really Eddie's fault. Okay, it would have been different if Eddie had started the punches right there in the back of the head. He didn't. He was striking where he did where he was striking was consistent. It's just the dude turned in and turned it into a foul. That's the problem.
So I want us to I'm going to pull this up so that we can see it. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, I'm going to try to describe what's going on. I mean, we've effectively described what's going on, but I want those of you who's actually watching the podcast to be able to see these strikes and judge for yourself. So here we go. We are looking at the replay here. And so let me pull that. Okay. So Eddie Alvarez has just gotten up. They're going to cut to the replay here. Here we go. What we can see is Eddie Alvarez. So this is right after disqualification. Now here comes the thing. So right there, that's in the tendon.
Right.
It's not the back of the neck. It's not the back of the head.
He's going to do it again.
Right there, that's the tendon again. Tendon again. Tendon again.
Well, yeah.
That's behind the head.
There. That was one. And then he starts selling it. Okay. So I was even wrong. He only hit him once in the wrong spot.
Right.
And that's when he turned in. And then after that, old boy starts selling it, like Lapidolite said, like a soccer foul.
So I don't believe that this should be a disqualification. Like I said before, it depends on what the instructions were backstage. If the instructions were nothing in the back of neck and back of the head, then okay, all of those would be illegal. But clearly, if it's just the back of the head, which is what it is in the UFC, and we'll talk about the rule changes that are different from ONE FC to the UFC, but those were clearly in that tendon right behind the ear and not behind the head. And so therefore, I think that this disqualification should be overturned.
And it probably will. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they do that in ONE. I know
they
in UFC,
do. That's the thing.
do.
And that's that. So ONE FC actually does from time to time overturn judges' decisions or referee decisions. So this is one where Eddie Alvarez is respectfully requesting a review by the leadership of ONE FC to have this overturned. I think that they should grant it. If it were me and I had the power to overturn it, I would overturn it because as far as I'm concerned, that did not look like illegal strike. One was an illegal strike, but that would have warranted a referee warning, and that's what it was. So hopefully you guys agree with us. If you don't, let us know because that's what the debate is that's raging in the UF or in the MMA world right now. In the second fight of the night, go ahead.
I know. I was just saying, I agree, and hopefully Eddie does get this overturned because, I hate to see my boy go down like that.
So, so it goes down currently as a DQ. It is a DQ. Yeah. By the way, this is a great time to plug the Intelligent Defense discussion group. This is the type of stuff that we talk about on our Facebook group. So if you want to talk about this type of stuff, and you want to talk about it with people. You want to talk about with people who actually care about the sport and you're not getting all that goofy stuff that you find in other, in other discussion boards, then find us on Facebook, Intelligent Defense Discussion Group. That is my plug. This is the merch. If you want to get a shirt, you can on Amazon. Second fight of the night, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson was defeated by Adriano Moraes. Knees and punches. This fight was a great fight till it wasn't.
It was a scramble. It was a battle. I mean,
it was a battle.
I tell people all the time, the lighter the weight, the faster the fight. Okay, you cannot blink with these lighter fighters, and this was no exception. However, the irony of it all was that Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson when Aljamain Sterling got knocked out, got hit by a knee from Peter Yan, he said that knees should be allowed to a grounded fighter. And here was his fight. He's grounded. He's on the ground. And out of nowhere, Adrian throws a vicious knee to the face and
Pow.
separated pow. It was a pow. And
Boom.
he separated the conscious. And separated him from his body, separated his conscious from his body. And, it was irony, but Demetrius, being the man that he is, being a quintessential martial artist, he's like, hey, it happens. He was okay with it. He was still okay with it, even after getting knocked out. So my question becomes, your question, should knees be thrown? I have no problem with it. Okay, I have no problem with knees being thrown on a ground opponent, strikes being thrown to a ground opponent to a degree. We don't want to go full pride, because full pride, when I say that, and even as I'm saying it now, I flash back to Vanderlei stomps. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was horrified when I saw the stomps. This dude is just getting stomped out, and I'm like, I can't handle that. But
see, that's how they call him the axe murderer.
Yeah. Should knees to the ground opponents be legal? Yes, I think that they should, and here's why. I think Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson said it best. He goes, "You can't stall." How many times have you had a fight that is on that a fighter that's on the ground, and then he instead of getting up, he keeps one hand on the ground to stall, because now that changes what the opponent can do when he's, quote, a downed opponent. If you can throw knees when someone is down, then you're getting up as quickly as you can, because you can't afford to be down. You can't afford to be down on the ground. That changes the speed and the pace and the dynamic of the sport, and I agree with that.
Now, to be clear, we're talking about strikes to the head. Now, knees can still be thrown, but it can be thrown only to the body. Okay, because George St. Pierre was a pretty much the professor of throwing knees to the body. That's how he beat most of the ground opponents that would try to stall. He would just turn to the side and throw some serious knees into their midsection there until they would give up.
I want to say that Anderson Silva defeated Chael Sonnen in their rematch with a knee to the chest while Chael was down. And so, yes, they can do that. But think about how much faster fights would go if you could throw knees to the head. And that's what Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson was saying, is that your fights don't go so long, because if you get someone to the ground and then knees to the head are legal, those fights get finished. And it's like, so I support the fact that he's like, listen, I believe that they're legal. I got caught with one. He goes, I even finished in the flyweight Grand Prix. I finished someone with a knee to a grounded opponent. He goes,
right.
I'm not just calling it because it was or saying I don't agree with or I agree with it, whatever, because I used it. I would have done the exact same thing. What was interesting about the fight? Let's go back to just what happened in the fight. Is Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson was pushing the pace, because Adriano is a counter striker who just kind of waits for you to come in. And Adriano Moraes was a much bigger, longer fighter. So Demetrius had to be much more elusive in how he closed distance, got inside, and landed punches. He was doing a great job in the first round until he got taken down and really couldn't get back up, got controlled on the ground. Second round was the same thing. He was getting inside, was able to push the action, got taken to the ground, held there, and then blam with a knee, and the fight was over.
Yeah. So, but this is Demetrius's fourth career loss.
Yes.
One fun fact about that: every loss that he has ever had has been for championships. He lost to Dominic Cruz for championships.
Correct.
He lost to Henry Cejudo.
No, he didn't. Get that out of your mouth. He did not lose. The judges awarded the belt to Henry Cejudo.
He lost to Mahias, and I can't think of the fourth one he lost to.
Well, it would have been before Dominic Cruz.
Yes. No, was it?
It would have had to have
because he
been.
didn't look. Yeah, it had to have been before Dominic Cruz. But yes, pretty much they were all championship bouts. So it's not like he's losing to anybody. You have to be pretty much on your game to beat Mighty Mouse. So I take nothing away from Adriano Moraes. Congratulations. Let's see if he can do it a second time, because we know Mighty Mouse will be back.
Well, that's the thing, is that in the post-fight interviews, it didn't sound like he was really interested in coming back. He's like, you know what? I think I'll try some kickboxing or something. It's like, are you serious? Are you serious? You want to just go kickboxing? Yeah, I'm going to go home, hang out with my family. You know, this has been a long training camp. So I'm just go home, hang out with my fam, and then we'll go start looking at maybe we do some kickboxing. And it's like, dude, you should be getting back on the horse. Go find another flyweight to fight. Get back in there and get that rematch. You know, but apparently he's not motivated for that.
Well, I have a big problem. You know, I agree with Joe Rogan on this, that you should not be interviewing fighters that just get knocked out. Okay. I very rarely like it. That the fact that these fighters, they interview losing fighters. Okay, because they're dejected, they're demoralized. You know, a fighter that's just been knocked out, I don't care if he snaps right back and is coherent. Give him a couple of days, then interview him and see where he's at. Don't just interview him right out of it, because you don't know what he's going to say. You know, I think Demetrius just needs some time off, and he may get back in it. He may call it altogether quits. You know, we don't know, but don't ask him just after you got knocked out, because I probably won't even be talking crazy if you just knock me out and wake me up. Yeah, give him a week. Give him a week and ask him.
All right. Well, you know, Lipid Light agrees with you, so therefore you may be right for once.
Wait a minute, for what? For what?
Right. I'm kidding. In the main event of the evening, Rod Tang defeated Daniel Williams via unanimous decision. This was a Muay Thai bout. You know, of course, ONE FC features Muay Thai kickboxing, regular kickboxing, like K1 style kickboxing, as well as MMA. And so therefore, Rod Tang, who is you know, in that lineage of Muay Thai royalty, went in there against Daniel Williams, and Daniel Williams was like throwing bombs, caught Rod Tang a couple of times, woke him up. You know, like Cisco said, he woke the dragon. Cisco, see what I did there?
Yeah. I think we're the old heads here. You know?
So anyway, once Rod Tang decided that he was actually gonna take it seriously, I think he was just kind of feeling out Daniel Williams, and Daniel Williams was like 0 to 100 miles an hour. Because one of the things that we'll find that I learned recently that's different about, you know, traditional Thai Muay Thai versus like Americanized Muay Thai is that American Muay Thai, they get going in round number 1, whereas traditional Muay Thai, it's kind of a feel out process. You know, you're kicking legs inside, outside, throwing punches, elbows, you know, high kicks, but they're not 100% like trying to knock a person out. Whereas Daniel Williams was trying to finish this fight from jump. Once he caught Rod Tang really good, then the fight was on.
He was like, wait a minute. You know, I'm in a mood.
We're doing this in the American way.
Yeah. So, and yeah. So, I mean, there's 2 points to that. I mean, there could have been 2 reasons. One, like I said, American Muay Thai. 2, you're in there with Rod Tang. I mean, that's like being in the ring with Bukau back in the day. Okay. You've got to get them on the jump. Okay. It was like when Ray Jackson fought Chong Li in Bloodsport, he had to get him from the jump. Okay. The thing is, you got to finish him from the jump as well. And Rod Tang was having none of that. So.
Yeah, and you know, that's what happened. Next thing you know, Daniel Williams is cut, bloodied up, beaten up, and after that, it was clear that that Rod Tang was going to win. Even though I will say Daniel Williams was game the entire fight. So shout out to Daniel Williams. I think that if Coach was here, he might be playing the hype train sound because I think Daniel Williams made a fan out of Coach that night.
Really? All right.
Yes, he did. All right, that's just the first card. We got 2 more cards to go. Bellator 256 Bader versus Machida, Friday, April 9th in Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. There were 5 fights on the card. Unfortunately, I did not watch this card. I don't know if you watched it, but I didn't watch it.
Bits and pieces. I did see.
It was date night for a brother. Yeah.
I did catch the Ryan Bader Lyoto Machida fight.
All right, I'm gonna let you tell us about it. Let's go through the results and we'll get there. All right, Daniel Moret versus Goiti Yamauchi was a split decision. Moret won via split decision. Kat Zingano defeated Olivia Parker via an armbar, round 1, 256. Adam Borex defeated Jeremy Kennedy via unanimous decision. Liz Carmouche, the gorilla, defeated Vanessa Porto via unanimous decision. You know, people were shouting out at Liz Carmouche saying that she's a boring fighter. I think she gets the job done. Like, she just gets the job done. And then in the main event of the evening, Ryan Bader defeated Lyoto Machida via unanimous decision, finally getting back that loss that he took in the UFC, where Lyoto Machida counterpunched him to death.
I still see it in my head, just pow, he's on the ground. It was beautiful. It was probably one of the most beautiful counter punches I've ever seen. So Lyoto thought he was going to do it again. All right. And, you know, for the first round, Lyoto was executing his game plan, his usual game plan. He goes in there, throws a few, and gets out of there before you throw one. Okay. And that was great until Bader said, you know what? I learned my lesson. We're wrestling today. And that's what he did. I'm not going to use lay and pray, but let's just say, he wrestled for the entire rest of the fight. He grinded for the entire length of the fight. And, you know, that's always been, but, you know, that's Lyoto's weakness, though. If you can cut the ring off from Lyoto and and grind him out and pressure him like everybody that's ever beaten him had done, you got him. And, you know, some people think that type of fight is boring. No. It's never, you know, just like when they say Liz Carmouche is boring. There are no such thing as boring fighters. What it is, if the only boring fight is having 2 counterpunchers fight each other. That becomes a boring fight. Okay, I'd rather them they sit there and play Unos or something. So yeah, all right. And so with
Draw
that
4
said,
punches.
Yep, draw 40s, and you know, but yeah. So I mean, I like these fights. I like these fights where they figure out the other fighter and they execute their plan.
Well,
this was good.
This is an interesting fight because this was round 1 of the light heavyweight Grand Prix that Bellator has got going on. We'll talk a little bit later about Bellator 257, which has 2 more fights from the light heavyweight Grand Prix. One of which is a championship fight. It's one thing that I do like about what Bellator is doing with these Grand Prix tournaments things, because when they have the champion in it, every fight that the champion fights is a championship fight. And he could lose the belt. And that is amazing.
That's awesome.
So I really do like what Bellator is doing there. Like I said before, they just keep scheduling on my date nights. And you can't do that. My brother can't watch Bellator when he's sitting at a restaurant with the wife.
I told you how to do it. You just need to get there at the house. Be like, hey baby, I got dinner and hors d'oeuvres for you, baby. And you break out the Triscuit, and you get the Triscuit and some cream cheese and some ham and some pickles.
I forgot about the Triscuit. We talked about this.
We talked about this.
So listen. So tomorrow is my 19th wedding anniversary. I'm breaking out the Triscuits.
Dude, you got it, man.
Yeah, you know,
get that Triscuit.
You know, Tone Loc had Funky Cole Medina. I got Triscuits.
That electricity biscuit is going to put some electricity in your life tomorrow night.
Okay. Watch. I'm going to come back and then be like, nothing. Nope, not at all.
He's going to be doing it from the garage.
This is Combat Sports Talk from the doghouse. All right. So speaking about laying and praying, UFC Vegas 23, Vittori versus Holland, Saturday, April 10th, 2021, at the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had 5 fights on the card. Mike Perry was defeated by Daniel Rodriguez via unanimous decision. There are beatdowns, and then there are Mike Perry fights. And this is one where Mike Perry didn't even know what happened. He was like, I used to be great. I don't know what happened. You got too comfortable fighting people at restaurants, man.
Yeah, you got too comfortable fighting without a corner, or having your girlfriend / wife / baby mama in your corner. You need to quit that. Okay. And Lapidolite's right. He has a solid chin. He has all the tools. Okay. However, it makes no difference if you have no blueprint without your tools. Okay.
Yeah.
I felt bad for it, because now that, even though his record is now he's lost 8 in a row, that's not the number he really needs to worry about. The number is 60. Okay.
60.
That's the number he needs to worry about. Now, but the strange thing about this, though, the story that I like that actually touched the Spartan heart within me, was the fact that Darren Till, who he always has, they've always had a back and forth. They always had a Tango and Cash type of relationship. Tiggs and Murdoch type of relationship for Lethal Weapon. Darren Till actually reached out to him and said, "Hey, bro, why don't you come on over? I'll put you and your family up. You can learn from me. All right. I'll give you some pointers." That's the spirit of martial arts right there. Okay. That is the spirit of a friendly rivalry. Okay. That is Apollo Creed reaching out to Rocky and saying, "Come here, I will teach you rhythm." That's what he needs.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he takes you and I were talking about this earlier today. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that whoops. I'm trying to put the tag. I'm trying to put the tag on here. Sorry about that. There we go. You
just got that shot up just in case, huh? Is that all the buttons that refer to me? That's it right there?
I just accidentally put the label "The Views Expressed by John Keys" or not. That was accidental. I actually agree with you. I just question whether or not Mike Perry has the humility to go and see Darren Till, especially given the fact that Mike Perry doesn't currently have a corner, and he's doing that intentionally. So if you're too prideful to get a corner, then why would you go and start training with someone that you've been beefing with in the media? I just don't see it happen.
Is it really beefing, or is it just them going back and forth talking mess? Okay,
it's beefing to me.
Mike Perry, he likes to talk a lot of mess, but you could tell that Darren Till was coming from a point of respect. Okay, he really was coming from a point of respect. That I can and I could see that. So, I mean, I think this may be a moment where Mike Perry sits there and he may turn around and say, "Hey, I'll come over there." To answer that question, how many more losses? We don't know. This might have been that
this many.
Yeah, you think he's got one more?
One more loss, because he's got one more fight on his contract. I think they give him his last fight because Dana White loves Mike Perry because he's so game and he'll get in there. But at the end of the day, I think he gets that fight, then he gets cut. That they don't renew his contract. So that's what I think is going to happen.
So Scott Coker sitting over there on the side, like, yeah, man.
No,
come on through.
I think it's David Feldman.
Wow, you think he's going that? Hey, that's not. You used to clown it, but I don't think you need to clown that anymore.
You don't hear me clowning Bare Knuckle FC anymore. Like, I've come to grips with the fact that it's a legitimate promotion. They're doing things. They're doing things in and they're starting to get these bigger name fighters, and so it's like, it's working. So you haven't heard me too critical about BKFC in a while, and
Okay.
I don't like it. I'm not, I don't know that I'm going to support them, but I am not going to talk smack about them. I know that's true.
So you're indifferent, in other words.
I don't enjoy this notion that the fight game has to be two guys standing in the middle of the ring and trying to break each other's faces. I prefer to see the strategy. I prefer to see people hit and not be hit. That's why I'm such a huge fan of Demetrius Johnson. But when you have it where if a person tries to box, Lepidolite says BKFC is the only fans of MMA. I know what, I think you may be right there. That is probably the most apt description of what that BKFC is. Not for everyone, but some people are willing to pay to see more.
Yes, they are.
So let's continue, because we haven't even got to the headlines yet. We ain't even got to the number one thing we want to talk about. We're still recapping.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Mackenzie Dern. Like, what did she do? She came back and just blew the. I see. I've been listening too much of Demetrius Johnson. Blew the bricks off her.
She didn't blow the brakes off. She just snatched her arm off. That's all she did. Okay, she snatched her arm and convincingly snatched an arm. Okay.
So this is why I paused and didn't say who she fought, because I thought she was fighting Nina Ansaroff, but she changed her name because she's a married woman now.
Yeah.
She's Nina Nunes.
Yeah.
Nina Nunes. I'm like, who is Nina Nunes? Going back, I thought it was Nina Ansaro. Nina Nunes. And this is what if you go back to last week's show, I'm like, I feel bad for her because, she's the champ's wife, but at the same time, she's facing Mackenzie Dern. It's not going to be pretty.
No, it's not.
And it wasn't. No.
Mama versus mama, and mama snatched the other mama's arm off and took it home.
Yes, she did.
Nina's got poor little Reagan by one arm now. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully she took the correct one.
No. I'm not saying that she does not deserve that last name with that type of performance. She just got through having a baby, man. Okay?
No, don't even. No, that's not that, because she could go through training. The thing is that she ain't Amanda. This is like the same thing we're talking about Valentina Shevchenko, right? Valentina Shevchenko's sister Antonia is not Valentina.
Yeah,
there's a strong one and there's a not strong one.
Yeah,
you got Anthony Pettis and then you got Sergio.
There you go.
One of them was champ, the other one not.
Yeah, you got Nate Diaz, you got Nick Diaz. All right.
Yeah, but I think they're about even.
Nah, one's a better grappler, the other one's a better striker.
Yeah.
It's been proven that Nate has done the Gracie challenge. Was known for doing Gracie challenges back in the day.
Nate did the Gracie challenge. What did that mean? He decided to get hit by a 18-wheeler and then not go to the emergency room. Like, is that what it is? That he decided to drown himself and then be brought back to life, like the freaking what's it called on Game of Thrones? That like which dies is brought again.
The Ironborn is
the Ironborn.
No. Okay, so the Gracie challenge. All right. So back in the day, the Gracie family built their name on fighting. Okay, are proving that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was the superior martial art. So what would happen was, back in the day, people would go to their gyms and challenge somebody in that gym to fight. So what they would do, they would close the doors, they would cover the doors up, they would lock it, and the rules were simple. No judges there except to declare a winner or to declare the submission. And the person that challenged can choose anybody in that any belt in that room. Okay. And people would get beat. Okay. It's legend. So Nate, people would choose Nate when they would come to Gracie Barra. And because Nate at the time is just this little rail thin. He was going by the name Nathaniel at the time. And there's videotapes of him. These guys, these big hulking guys would take on Nate, and he would just submit these guys like effortlessly. All right. So he's a better grappler than Nick. Nick is the better striker. So
okay,
there's that.
So the question came up, what's next for Mackenzie Dern? Well, here's the thing. Nina Nunes, Nay, and Saroff was ranked number 5 at strawweight, and Mackenzie Dern was 11. So that should jump her up the poll into top 10. I think you start looking at perhaps her fighting. I would love to see her go up against someone like maybe a Claudia Gadela, ranked number 7. You got Carla Esparza at number 4. And the only thing is, I want Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I want her to fight Yan Xiaonan, but I think she's already been booked. I think Yan Xiaonan has been booked already. So I don't want to see Mackenzie Dern fight that high up the rankings. But I'm thinking maybe a Claudia Gadela at 7. Marina Rodriguez. She's a good striker. I don't know how well her grappling is. At number 6. I don't think that she should fight much higher than that. Maybe one fight though, and then she's in that Rose, Joanna, Yan Xiaonan, Carla Esparza, which I think Carla Esparza is ranked too high at number 4. I think that is
wow. No respect on her name, huh? No respect on it. No respect on her name.
I just Carla Esparza is a great wrestler, but I don't think. I think that when you look around those top 3 names, Carla, it's like Zhang Weili, you got Rose Thug No Hair Namajunas, you got Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you got Yan Xiaonan, and then you got the rest of the division, and Mackenzie Dern is working her way up. I think Mackenzie Dern is probably elite. After that, I don't really have maybe Amanda Hebus, who's ranked number 10 right now.
I like that. I would rather see that. I mean, even though she might be ranked number 9. Where is she sitting at right now?
She's at 11. So she's outside the 10.
So then I would like to see her with Amanda Hebus. I think that would be a better fight overall, and maybe Hebus, then Gadelia, and then Esparza. That would probably be the better fights.
I believe Amanda Hebus is fighting Angela Overkill Hill next. I think that fight is the fight that they got booked. We covered that maybe last week or the week before. So maybe. So I think that there's some options there. But I think that you should probably give her a bit of a higher ranked fighter. Somewhere around the 5. So I'm looking at Marina Rodriguez. Claudia Gadela may be a little too low, but I would love to see that fight because you've got a wrestler versus a grappler. And then, if you can get her to fight Carla Esparza, take that 4. I think that's easy money for Mackenzie Dern.
Wow, man, just no respect on her name.
Look, I gotta hate somebody. All right, y'all took freaking Amanda Hill from me, Angela Hill. You took Angela Hill from me, so now I gotta hate somebody. So now I'm hating the Cookie Monster.
What the Cookie Monster ever do to you, man?
She lost to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. That's what she did.
Oh, if you want to hate on it, somebody hate on Joanna. That's what you need. Hate on.
No, can't hate on Joanna. Joanna is like my number 3. She's like my number 3 fighter.
Hey,
Demetrius,
breaking your heart, dude.
Ferguson, Joanna. That's the 3.
Hey,
all right, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's see here. Sam Alvey was defeated by Julian Marquez. I was satisfied. Everybody was like, "Ooh, that was such a brutal finish," because he submitted Sam Alvey and he went to sleep with a rear naked choke. I actually was like, can we watch that in replay? It's almost like that time when Ronda Rousey fought Amanda Nunes and got finished in 45 seconds or something like that. and then after it became a free fight, I would just sit, and watch that on replay. I think I'll be watching the Sam Alvey go to sleep to Julian Marquez on replay.
Wow, man. What did Sam Alvey do? Did he
To be honest,
did he knock on your door?
Sam Alvey said some stupid stuff on Twitter, and I even responded to Sam Alvey. And so basically, remember that fighter who a female fighter passed out on the scales a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
We talked about it. Sam Alvey took to Twitter and said that it was her mask restricting her breathing that caused her to pass out on the stage. Not the fact that she just went through a brutal weight cut before a fight, which we've seen other fighters pass out in similar situations pre-COVID because they couldn't sustain the weight cut. But no, it's the mask that she's wearing that made her pass out. Otherwise, she'd have been fine. Not the fact that she was dreadfully dehydrated. Like, come on, bro. And so I was just mad. I'm like, you know what? I actually met Sam Alvey in a fight in Ottawa. Like, he was checking into the hotel that I was staying at, and I met Sam Alvey. And so it's just kind of one of those things where it was like, I once he said that, I was like, okay, I'm not a Sam Alvey fan. Like, don't be blaming the mask for something that's clearly a weight cut issue. And so
maybe the mask that he wore earlier in the day was the reason why he passed out so quickly.
Well, he shouldn't use Julian Marquez's arms as a mask around his neck. But if it was around his face, he wouldn't have gone to sleep.
That could be true. That can be true.
Now, I gave a disclaimer after this fight. After this fight, I gave a disclaimer, and so I got to make true on it. Here we go. I am declaring myself on the Julian Marquez hype train tonight. That is my disclaimer. Oh. It's happening. Boom. Julian Marquez. Wow. I'm on that hype train.
That makes one of us.
Dude is 2-0 in the UFC, but let me tell you why I'm on the Julian Marquez hype train. Not only because this dude is game. He was losing his first fight, and then he came back to win it at the end. This one was much more in his control, even though it was fight of the night. So Sam Alvey wasn't just a pushover. But Julian Marquez got this thing done, 2-0 in the UFC right now. But when he won his fight last time, he called out, you see, Lepidolite is ahead of me, man. Like, dude, are you from the future? You have a DeLorean that goes 88 miles an hour. So you got something. Stargate, something. Anyway,
Stargate, is that what we're doing now?
So, I thought you would appreciate that reference.
I'm okay with that. But that's coming across the galaxy. It's not time and space. But could have said a TARDIS. Okay, all right. Let's get to the shout-outs. Julian Marquez won his fight, called out Miley Cyrus. This time, he won the fight, called out Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill to play. What is it? It's badminton or pickleball.
Pickleball.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have pickleball.
What strange Klingon sport is this?
We don't have pickleball in Texas.
I know. We have. Hold on, I'm looking up pickleball.
Football, but not pickleball.
There's Pickle Rick. I mean, there's not pickleball.
Pickle Rick. So maybe it's like badminton.
God, there is a video of the top 9 basic pickleball strategies, mistakes, and how to fix them. Lord have mercy.
It's a thing. It's a thing in Missouri. So, next time we go to Missouri, we're going to have to play a little bit of pickleball.
Actually, it's not Missouri, my friend. It was first played in 1965 at Bainbridge Island, Washington. It is a mixed gender sports. It can do singles and doubles, and it has there's an international federation of pickleball.
All right, there you go. Lepidolite says it's like ping pong and tennis put together. So
they have shoes.
So pickleball shoes.
Yeah.
So apparently, after he calls out Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill, they responded and they're like, oh, it's on. So we're going to perhaps see Julian Marquez versus, some of the stars of the Kansas City Chiefs in a pickleball match. This is why I am a Julian Marquez fan. So when his name shows up on a card, I'm freaking watching it and I'm rooting for him because I want him to win so I can see who's going to call out next. Fan. I am a fan.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
All right. Arnold Allen defeated Sadiq Yusuf via unanimous decision. If you get kicked in the head and you finish the fight, should you get a $50,000 bonus just for surviving?
No.
Well, Sadiq Yusuf didn't either.
Cold-blooded in the game. God.
Bruh, like Arnold Allen, like he got to be like he's got to be like, what does it take to finish somebody? Oh my God. He
fatalities,
survived.
man. Okay, Mortal Kombat fatality. That's how you doing it, homie. Okay. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. All right. In the main event of the evening, Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. Of course, Kevin Holland was coming in, hometown hero, 2 weeks notice to fight Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori tore him up on the ground with wrestling, ground and pound, had his face all swollen. It was pretty dominant performance. We had 50-44, so that means someone gave a 10-8 round to Marvin Vettori. I don't know. This is 2 weeks in a row that Kevin Holland has failed to avoid getting taken down and dominated on his back. We saw him get taken down against Jacare Souza, but Jacare isn't a wrestler per se. He is a grappler. And so Kevin Holland was able to overcome that with superior striking from the ground. But now when you look at someone like Derek Brunson, who's a pure wrestler, and then clearly Marvin Vettori has leveled up his wrestling, Kevin Holland really didn't have an answer. And it was interesting to listen to Dominic Cruz and DC talk about all the things that Kevin Holland was doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like, this is basic stuff that he's doing wrong.
Well, Dad, a couple of things. Number one, I wasn't expecting too much out of Kevin Holland. He had just got through fighting 2 weeks ago. One. Two, he just came from a loss. So he should not have been. I respect the gamemanship. I respect the fact that he was like, bring it. I will come back and fight. I don't like the fact that his mind was not right. His mind was not right. Even though I'm the first to say that once you close that door, you say you are ready to fight. And he did do that. However, if your mind is not in the place that it needs to be to fight a monster like, Vettori, this is what happens. He could have went in there with a strategy and still it would have got messed up.
What evidence did you see that Kevin Holland was not in his right mind?
I didn't say he wasn't in his right mind. He just
said
DC,
his mind wasn't right.
Well, okay, there's a different. Okay, I'm thinking he was like, you're saying like he's crazy or something like that. No, the fact that like DC and Dominic Cruz said that he was missing the basics. I get, even in the game now, even in MMA now, there are basic things that you should know. Okay, as far as ground fighting, as far as striking, the fundamentals. And if you're missing the fundamentals, something is not right. Either you can blame yourself or you can blame your coaching staff. He didn't blame his coaching staff, so you have to put it back on you.
Okay, well, it's one of those things where the dude never really needed to have a ground game. I mean, he's got a black belt at Travis Lutter Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's got lightning in his hands. He hasn't faced a pure wrestler, and so when he did, now it's clear. This is why it's mixed martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that you have to have wrestling. It is the base of mixed martial art. It is the most dominant style in mixed martial arts. And so if you do not have it in your toolkit and you cannot keep yourself from getting taken down, you will not escalate to the top echelon of these of these weight classes. I mean, this is what we saw with Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou got taken down, didn't have wrestling, didn't win the title. What happened? He went back, got wrestling,
learned a little wrestling,
champ,
and now he knows how to stuff a takedown.
Yep, and that's all he needed. So I think it's a good question. What's next for Vettori? I got one answer. I want to see what you say, John Keys, but I think it's very clear who's next for Marvin Vettori.
It's gonna be it's a title shot. I think he wants a title shot.
So you got two options, right? Because you've got Robert Whittaker fighting Kelvin Gastelum I think this weekend or it's coming up. And then you've also got Israel Adesanya. So what you could have is you could either go Vettori versus Israel Adesanya, because Vettori is one of the people who actually gave Israel Adesanya a run for his money, or because you've got someone so highly ranked and respected in Robert Whittaker, what you could do is, winner of Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori in a number one contender eliminator.
That makes sense.
Personally, for me, I think that you need Vettori to win against somebody that's like a Robert Whittaker. What I'm hoping is that Robert Whittaker wins the fight against Kelvin Gastelum, and then you get a Vettori Whittaker number one contender match is what I'm hoping for.
Wait, you saying that Gastelum couldn't hold his own against Vettori?
I didn't say that. I'm saying the fight that I would like to see. I think that Robert Whittaker, the way that Robert Whittaker got destroyed by Israel Adesanya, but still is what I consider to be the most complete fighter, in the division. Not taking anything away from Israel Adesanya, but we saw his ground game against Jan Blachowicz. I know Jan is bigger and heavier than Israel Adesanya, but personally for me, it's a weakness. So, the thing about Robert Whittaker is that no, he's not as slow, and he's not as fast as Israel Adesanya, but at the same time, I think he is the most complete fighter in the middleweight division, and so I think that he would be a better test for Marvin Vettori than Kelvin Gastelum. Marvin Vettori is a big hulking dude. I just can't see he's Kelvin Gastelum being able to stand with him.
But see, here's the thing, though. I mean, and this is the thing about super fights. They do one or two things. Either they elevate you to high, or they expose a serious weakness. And in this case here, for Adesanya, they exposed a serious weakness in his ground game. And so hopefully Israel saw that, and he's smart enough, and his coaching staff is smart enough to say, that is your weakness. Let us work on that. Let us either work on a way that you reverse wrestle, or we work on enhancing your ground game, that you can accommodate some ground strikes and get in there and actually roll around. I just hope they teach him how to reverse wrestle, much like how Iceman fights. Because that was his thing, that he was actually a wrestler, but he used his wrestling to reverse wrestle. That means anytime he got on the ground, anybody got him on the ground, he did everything he could to get back up.
Right.
And it was brilliant. Nobody could actually stop it, so they just started knocking him out on the chin.
To close this out, I'll answer this last question. Can Vettori do the same thing to Adesanya? I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
From a body perspective, there's not a lot of difference between Israel Adesanya and Kevin Holland. I think they're basically about the same frame, reach, things like that. I think that probably you'll find that Israel Adesanya is maybe a little bit faster. But the fact is that Kevin Holland was able to blast Vettori a couple of times. And so that means if Kevin Holland was able to blast him, that means Israel Adesanya is able to blast him. So, I think I was saying no, but now as I think about it, I'm going to say yes. I think that it's possible that Vettori could actually close off the ring. I think it depends on where the fight is. And now I think it's a very important thing that we have to remember. If Israel Adesanya is fighting Marvin Vettori in the Apex Arena, then yes, 100%. If they are at Fight Island, perhaps not. Because the size of the ring makes a difference.
Yes. And I think that size of the ring actually plays in favor for the wrestler. That,
when it's smaller, absolutely.
Yes,
and the Apex Arena, for those of you who are out there, the Apex Arena is several feet smaller than the square feet smaller than the normal UFC ring that you find at Fight Island, or whenever it's a traveling show, that it's a bigger ring. So there's more space to move around, which I think favors the striker over the wrestler. But then again, when it's a smaller ring, a wrestler is able to cut off the striker. I think that's a topic that we should discuss.
I think that is. I think we ought to put it on the run sheet for next week, man.
Yeah. We'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of large rings versus small rings. I think that's a great topic. Let's go ahead and close the book on all three of these cards and put them on the shelf, because these cards are history. Let's go into this topic of the headliner segment, or not the headliner, Finding the Angles, where we talk about the headlines that are making waves in the MMA world. This is Finding the Angles. All right, this is Finding the Angles. This is where we talk about the headlines that are making waves in the MMA world. The number one topic of the day, the thing I want to talk about, the headline, is Conor claps back. So the war of words is raging on against or between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier as they march up to their July 10th fight, trilogy fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor originally said in the rematch, Poirier McGregor 2, that he would fight Dustin Poirier and donate $500,000 to Dustin Poirier's foundation, which is the Good Fight Foundation. And so they had the fight. Everyone's expecting for Conor McGregor to donate $500,000. And then this week, Dustin Poirier said that he never got that cash from Conor McGregor for the Good Fight Foundation. Of course, that was quite the embarrassing thing for Conor McGregor. And so Conor McGregor responded by saying that it's a donation, not a debt. He says, we've been waiting the plans for the money that never came. He goes, I do with all my donations, know where it's going dot for dot. Otherwise, it goes walking, as is the case with a lot of these foundations, sadly. And then he clapped back. He said, you took the McGregor, or the McG, over the belt. Shows I was right. And what that says, and what I interpret that as, is that he is saying that Dustin Poirier is about the money, was trying to get that extra 500 G's without saying where it was going to go, and that would allow him the ability to use it however he wanted. Conor is suggesting that he's not going to give the money to the Good Fight Foundation unless there's a clear plan about how it's supposed to be used.
Okay, so that part right there, I respect that. I understand that's on the business side. However, if we remember that Dustin already said that when it came to the belt, he wasn't doing it. He wasn't fighting anymore for the belt. He could have it wasn't worth it. He said he's going after McGregor. We already knew that he was about the money. He's about money to finance his foundation. I can respect that too. But for McGregor to sit there and say that you're not about the fighting, you're just about the money, ain't wrong. I ain't mad at Poirier. Poirier never hid the fact, okay, that was it. However, I am questioning, is what Conor saying true? That he told Poirier that all you have to do is show me where my money's going, and you can get the money. That's what I'd like to know.
So Dustin Poirier responded. He said, 100%, never a debt. You offered, we accepted. And like I said, Your team never responded to our emails regarding the process of where funds would be put to work. So,
I need receipts.
According to Dustin Poirier, that they tried to explain this to Conor McGregor, but Conor's team never responded. So it's like, wait a minute. You know, I think it's time. I just process what you said. We can solve this if you want to solve it in public. Solve it. Show me the receipts. Somebody texted somebody. Somebody sent emails to somebody. Those have dates and timestamps on it. Show us what you're working with.
Exactly.
What you got, Dustin Poirier? You can say, we called on this date, we called on this date, sent this email, had this conversation. Boom. What you got, Conor? Where's our 500 G's? But he ain't done it yet. Now I know it's early.
You know.
but McGregor, I think, is a little bit angry. He said, "You're ripped, you inbred hillbilly. Why do you wink with your ears?" Which I don't know what that means. You effing dead,
keep going.
brain dead hillbilly. 500,000 with no plan in place. Ye hang tight, fool. You must be new to money. And he says, following on, he goes, "Fight is off, by the way. I'm going to fight someone else on the 10th. Good luck on your old contract, kid."
Wow.
He later said that my team does their due diligence to make sure every foundation meets the mark. My generosity is known. You will pay with your brain for this attempt at smearing my name. Then he starts using foul language, which I don't understand how. I don't even know what he's saying there.
Is this the part where George would say a hit dog will holler?
I guess so.
I think it is.
So maybe, yeah. Conor definitely escalated the rhetoric on this after Dustin Poirier called him out, said that it's his team that's not responding. So here we go. What do you guys think? Do you think Dustin Poirier is right and that he's tried to explain to Conor how his foundation uses the money? Or do you think Conor is right, that Conor never heard back from Dustin Poirier?
I'm going to say that based off this, that it's the burden's kind of is going to be on Conor now, because one thing that I've learned from psychology is if a person cannot respond intelligently to a simple accusation, there's something more there.
Okay, I think that's fair. The one thing that I was thinking though is, the onus is on Conor as well, because he's the one who said that he was going to donate the money. So you're either going to donate it or you're not. Now, I don't know. But the question I have for you is this: is this all just selling wolf tickets? Are they just promo talking?
Could be.
Like none of this really matters.
How much more promo talking? Yeah, how much more promo talking do you need? Okay, they had an awesome second fight. That trilogy would be just as solid. They had solid fights. So why would they need? How much more money do you need to sell? Unless Dana's like, "Hey, y'all, okay, y'all need to hype this up. Y'all got too much mutual respect going on. I need y'all to be at each other's throat. I need y'all at the DC Jones level."
Well, you need Michael P.S. Hayes to write a better storyline. That's all I gotta say. So,
whoa, look at you! Look at
you! Who cares about whether or not somebody donated $500,000 for a foundation as a reason to fight? I'm just saying, I care that Conor donates the money and that the money is put to good use for charity and stuff like that. But as a storyline for why they're coming into the ring is dumb.
Just saying.
It's dumb. It's a dumb thing to beef about. We don't need to hear about this in the media. Just take that offline. Solve it.
Somebody see, that's why it just doesn't. It's something's not right about this. Something's janky. Something's truly janky about this. We'll see. Somebody's going to come up with receipts at some point. Somebody's ego is going to lose it, and they're going to produce receipts.
Well,
and then it is what it is.
You know, one of those two fighters is known for producing receipts.
Yes, very much so.
And all I gotta say is his name rhymes with Conor McGregor.
Really?
Because he pulled those receipts. He pulled those receipts on Dana White. Remember, he did that a few months ago.
He did. So let's see what he does now.
Yeah, but Lepidolite though. Okay, so Lepidolite saying it hypes the fight. They're hyping the fight. This is a dumb thing to hype the fight over. This is dumb. Hype the fight over something else. Not some foundation.
But what else? They showed ultimate respect to each other. I've never seen such a respectful bout of energy since Goku and Vegeta, once they were cool with each other and they had to fight at the tournament. There was mutual respect. Sasuke and Naruto at the Chunin trials, they were there, okay? They were there with that much respect. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They had too much respect going on. It was like Ken and
Vegeta?
Ryu. Stop it. Just stop. Just stop.
Who's Naruto?
Stop. You know who Naruto is. Don't put your children on. Your children needs to be on here now. Your children now. Put your kids on. They'll finish up the rest of the show. You know.
Like I know Dragon Ball Z and I know that Naruto are anime, but I've never seen a full episode of Dragon Ball Z, and I've never seen an episode of Naruto. I just know that he's got some nine-tailed demon. That's all I know about.
Okay, so I'm not mad at you at the Dragon Ball part because I can't stand Dragon Ball Z because it takes 20 episodes to finish one fight. But Naruto is kind of a shame on thee. Okay. What about Ken and Ryu?
Who's that?
You know Street Fighter? Street Fighter 2?
Of course I know Street Fighter 2. I'm the greatest Street Fighter 2 player out of the me and you.
No, you're not.
I'm 6-1.
No, you're not.
I'm 6-1. Go back and listen. Go back and listen to like 15 episodes of me and you beefing over Street Fighter. I'm 6-1.
Okay, you know what?
Look at this championship belt. Look at that.
Doing this?
Look at that championship belt. There you go. You got a championship belt?
I can get your championship belt. Okay, is that what we're doing?
Just saying, 6-1 versus 1-6.
I surely hate to bring my controller up there to your house and beat you in your front yard. Okay, I really hate to do that.
6-1 versus 1-6. That's all I got.
Because it ain't. I'm scheduled. I'll schedule myself to get the Johnson & Johnson COVID shot, and then I'll show up on your front doorstep, and then we can get this party going. All right, it is not a problem.
Yeah,
remember that. We can do this.
Yeah, there we go. This right here. You see this? See that right here? Look at my label.
Is that what
we
doing?
Used to say Ryan
is that
Smith.
What we doing?
Now it says 6-1.
Okay, you know what? All right, you know you might as well put an asterisk to that 6 too. Okay,
look, I'll take it. I'll put an asterisk. Look, me and John Jones, we ain't scared of asterisk. I'll put an asterisk. It's still 6. It's still in the record books.
What is it? What was it? 2 years ago? 2 years ago, we gotta go.
Like 2 years
go
ago.
back 2 years, and you'll see where the rivalry started and how it's not. Apparently, it's not over.
Yeah.
So
if you
apparently, I gotta go to his house, to his front, to his driveway. We gotta pull out a TV. He'll pull out his Nintendo Switch, and I'll beat him on it and dance around it, and then hop in my F-150 and head back home.
I tried to get him to go out to the arcade in Richardson, but he wouldn't never show up there. So, keep giving me excuses.
No more excuses now. Okay, no more excuses. If I can operate in a mask. Okay, so we can still
all I gotta say is Memorial Day is coming up, man. Memorial Day is coming up.
You want to be you want your fighting character to be buried along with the rest of them, of those Civil War soldiers?
Your legacy could be memorialized on Memorial Day. We could do this.
Okay, we could. You know what?
It's a holiday.
I got nothing but air and opportunity and barbecue. Okay, it can happen.
It can, but will it? Those six wins showed me that it doesn't always happen.
Okay, all right.
All right. See, you are engaging with the king of trash talking, like Conor McGregor, like Dustin Poirier. Let me show y'all how to hype a fight. This right here,
See,
what you're seeing right now, is all off the dome. I'm coming off of this off the dome.
and as you can see, that's a lot to come off of, people. So with that said,
Ooh.
okay,
You know
with
what?
that said,
You know what? For that, I'm only the voice on this show. This is it. This is me. I'm taking you off. I'm full screen now. There you go. Talking, I have a big head. What? I'll show you.
I'm just saying them headphones look awfully stressed. That's all. You know, I'm just saying.
All right. Hey, let's get to some of these other stories. We are running a bit long, so let's get into this. Aljamain Sterling sidelined till October with a neck injury, so he's going to have surgery. He's saying he's going to be out 3 months. Peter Yan saying he's going to be out 9 months and wants the belt stripped from him.
Sorry, Peter. Quit being bitter, man. Okay. You lost it. This is akin to, when you dropped your hamburger and the kids across the street have McDonald's. I got McDonald's and you ain't got. It's what's happening. I got the championship belt and you ain't got it.
Why did you just ruin Eddie Murphy's bit? That's what I was not.
I didn't ruin it. I didn't ruin it.
It makes Eddie Murphy's bit.
See, I don't ruin Eddie Murphy's bit. What I did, people are like, "What in the world is John Keys doing?" And you just put out there Eddie Murphy's bit. So that naturally is people are going to go on and look at it's Eddie Murphy's Delirious. Okay,
but it's not about McDonald's or burgers. It's about ice cream.
No, there was a McDonald's skit.
No, it's about ice cream. I got some ice cream. You ain't got no ice cream.
That too.
Okay,
all right.
Listen,
maybe it was on Raw. Okay, hold on.
You go find it.
Remember, because he had to make the McDonald's burger, and and he was like, "Mommy, are you making an egg McMuffin?" And did you? Oh God, you know what? All right.
All I gotta say is that right now I'm not aware of that. I just know the ice cream bit.
He's about to take an L, ladies and gentlemen. So
listen,
please,
listen. I've taken an L. I can take an L, but I got more dubs than L's. That's all I gotta say. You're like Mr. Ellis. You got way more L's than W's.
Hold on.
All right. While you're searching for it, Francis Ngannou wants John Jones next. Thinks it's going to be an easier fight than Stipe Miocic. I think that's promo talk. I think Francis Ngannou knows exactly how hard it will be to fight John Jones. Yes.
Let's not be. You know what? I'll say whatever I'm going to. Hey, I talk crazy about John Jones, saying that he is the most juiced up fighter in the UFC. But let's put it out there. I separate the man from the ability. His ability is awesome. Okay, he is the most physical. He's the most impressive insecure champion that the UFC will have or ever have. His ability is off the charts. His insecurity is up there off the charts. But once he goes into that division, I predict that he will evolve that division. Okay, there is no doubt in my mind. Ngannou's in for trouble. He better go in there trying to knock his head off. I mean, like some for real Mike Tyson punch out stuff. He's got 1:30 to hit him with that dynamite punch. And sir, and where do you want me to put this at, sir? Okay, because I got the skit.
Well, the thing is that. What I didn't necessarily say that Eddie Murphy didn't have a skit about McDonald's. What I said was it's not I got McDonald's, you ain't got McDonald's. Like that's what I said because that's ice cream. So
he's got it was I said the only part that I will say is that it was not in Delirious, it was in Raw. It was Eddie Murphy Raw that did that.
Yeah. I mean, so. I'm looking at the video on YouTube right now, and it is Raw, and it's Mother Burger versus McDonald's. I get
that's exactly what I got.
But you have to show me the scene where he sings songs about McDonald's instead of ice cream. That's what you have to do to get that dub. I think I'm gonna get that. I think I'm gonna get the dub. You're gonna take the L because I don't think he does that in Raw.
All right. Well, after the show,
we got to do it after the show because this is a PG-13 show. PG-13
And there's
show.
copyrights infringements going on here.
Well, I mean, we shout out to One FC. We did just replay your video on YouTube.
It was on. It was YouTube's fault. It was YouTube's fault. Don't blame us.
Fault. John Jones says he wants to be the same size, if not bigger, for the Francis Ngannou heavyweight super fight. You and I were talking about this. You were saying that this is a mistake for John Jones to be same size, if not bigger, than Francis Ngannou. I think that it's the exact thing he needs to do. He needs to be a true heavyweight, and that means being as big as Francis Ngannou. Both of them have 84-inch reaches.
I don't know, man. I don't think it is, but we shall see. One of us is right, one of us is wrong. I think that John Jones should get bigger, but not as big as Ngannou. But if he feels that that's what he needs to be on that same level, hey man, who am I? Okay,
I don't think he needs as much speed as everyone says he needs at heavyweight.
I think he does.
I don't think he does.
I think
that his superior wrestling is going to make a big difference.
I think his speed. Well, I say that his speed will be the determining factor, though.
I think it doesn't hurt, but at the end of the day, most of these big heavyweights are big punchers, and you got a couple of wrestlers. But you're Derek Lewis, big puncher. You got Francis Ngannou, big puncher. You got Stipe Miocic, he's a big puncher. You know. Yes, I know that Stipe Miocic did wrestle, but we covered that last week. Stipe is not known as a wrestler. We covered it last week. Go back and listen to last week's show. I covered it in depth. Stipe Miocic, not a wrestler. He wrestled. Okay. It's like saying Deion Sanders is a baseball player, even though he's known for playing football. Yes, he did play baseball.
Okay.
But is he in the MLB Hall of Fame? Heck no.
What about everybody that doesn't make it to the MLB Hall of Fame? They're not baseball players?
Not if they played football and they're in the Football Hall of Fame.
But you saying that he did?
Bo Jackson. Does Bo Jackson play football or did he play baseball?
He played both.
But which one is he known for? He's known for football. When was the last time you saw a Bo Jackson highlight? What was it? It was football.
Yeah, Joe Thias was not. What Joe Thias was it? Who messed him up? Was it? It was God.
All right. While you think about that, somebody else who got messed up was Tony Ferguson.
Yes.
Joe Theismann got messed up by Lawrence Taylor. Yes, I can't watch that. Tony Ferguson got messed up. He got messed up by Justin Gaethje, and then got messed up by Charles Oliveira. And so now Tony Ferguson's going and trying to redefine his game, which is what we said he needed to do. It's like, Tony, you've been doing the same thing for so long. You need to switch it up. So now he's going and working with Freddie Roach and trying to get his boxing up ahead of this Beneil Dariush fight. He said he got too one-dimensional, and so he's making changes. One of the things that was interesting about the article was the fact that he said that he fired one of his coaches or one of his corner men because he was in a fight, turned to the corner and realized that the dude who was giving him advice was not the dude that he thought was supposed to be there. And so in the middle of the fight, he's like, what are you doing in here? And so he immediately fired this dude because he said that the dude pulled rank so that he could be a corner man for Tony Ferguson, and Tony didn't want this guy in his corner. My question is, but just goes to show how unorthodox Tony's world is, that he didn't know who was going to be in his corner while he was warming up. Like, the dudes you brought to the fight, you didn't know who was going to be in your corner? Like, how do you not know that?
Maybe it happened behind the scenes. Okay, that's what I'm gonna assume. That he said, all right, you and you are gonna be in my corner, and you're not. Okay, and they were like, yeah, cool. And then Tony went to start warming up, and then it was just like, nah, bruh, I'm senior here. You're not gonna be there. And dude was like, what? And then he came in, and then Tony's like, well, hey, where's number 3? He's like, no, I'm number 3, man. And he was like, what in the world? And yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of hard to miss who's in your corner. I think Lepidolite said it's not like it's 20 people. It's 3. You got 3
I'm just saying.
people.
There was 4 guys there, and number 4 said, I'm higher ranked than number 3. And Tony was like, nah, bruh. You number 0 now because you out of a job. So, yeah.
Yeah. Here's something that's making a lot of headlines. It's Rose Namajunas, and what she said about Zhang Weili and communism. So, of course, we know that Rose Thug No Hair Namajunas is a person who has been on the right side of history when it comes to talking trash. Of course, the most notable trash talker was my own Joanna Young Jacek, really going in on Rose Namajunas being, having, mental illness and things like that, really using that to pump up the fight and talk some trash. And we felt like Joanna Young Jacek had done the wrong thing and that it was kind of an off-limits thing. Well, now, we talked about this last week. Zhang Weili was like, first come the blows, then comes the bros kind of thing. It was like, you throw punches and then you make friends with the person that you fight kind of thing. And so she was a very aspirational kind of statement that she wanted to build a connection with Rose Namajunas. And Rose Namajunas is like, no, that she represents communism and I'm better dead than red. And it's like, hold up, Rose. Like, you got to think about this for a moment. Just because a person lives in a communist country and one that is authoritarian in nature, like the People's Republic of China, doesn't necessarily mean that Zhang Weili is the Communist Party. Now, if she tries to buck it or go against it, it's very bad news for Zhang Weili. But you can't make that an angle of what the fight is.
Right.
Zhang Weili is not choosing to represent the Communist Party in China. She's supporting her country of China, where she's from, just like every single fighter in MMA.
Agree. This is much akin to the Captain America argument. Some people foolishly think that Captain America is about the government. No, my friends. Captain America is about what America is supposed to mean for the people. He fights for the people, not the government. I think Weili does the same. She fights for the people and the belief in the people, not for the government. So for Rose to come out there and say something like that, dude, that's not cool, and some of the other statements you're throwing in there, I'm like, you should have. You'll never hear me say shut up and dribble or shut up and fight. You have your opinions about yourself, but just know the person a little bit better before you start saying that. It would be different if Zhang Weili came out and was like, I'm fighting for Xi Jinping and everything communist, and I believe in a communist government and all this stuff. That'd be different.
She's not saying that.
She's never done that. She never did that. She is a martial artist. She's actually coming in with the spirit of camaraderie and respect. And for her to kind of spit in the hand, well, you're gonna get what you're gonna get.
Yeah, like I just don't like it, and I get it. Rose Namajunas is of Lithuanian heritage. Lithuania suffered under the communist regime in Russia and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. But those are not the same things.
No.
It's not the same things. And I agree with you, John. If Zhang Weili was coming out and promoting the ideals of communism, then yeah, I think Rose has every right to be like, I'm against communism, and this is an angle of the fight. But Zhang Weili, as far as I can tell, she has been respectful to everyone and really hasn't talked anything about China in general.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard anything really nationalistic coming from her about China being great or anything like that.
Not at all. Not at all.
I just think that it's a bad move for Rose. If it's a sad thing if she's got to use this to be able to get herself up for this fight. I don't know. Yeah. Last story: Evander Holyfield to compete on Triller against the man who retired Mike Tyson. This is, of course, Kevin McBride, the last guy that Mike Tyson fought in his career. Mike Tyson, of course, quit on the stool in their June 2005 matchup and then retired from the sport. So, of course, we talked about it before. Evander Holyfield wanted to fight Mike Tyson after Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr., and it looked like we were going to get it. And then we got the story that said that Mike Tyson turned down $25 million to go up against Evander Holyfield again. So it looks like Evander Holyfield got himself a fight booked. I am not interested in this at all.
Not at all. See, this is, to me, this feels like that this is a goading fight that, Evander Holyfield is going to, and taking nothing away from McBride, but I think Evander Holyfield goes out there, beats the brakes off of McBride, and then sits there and says, "See, I beat the man that beat Tyson," and that will ignite Tyson, and that will give us old Iron Mike, and he's gonna pray that he never would have done that, because that's not the thing you want to do. You do not. Right. You do not spit. You do not spit in the wind. You do not tug on Superman cape, and you sure as heck do not provoke Mike Tyson.
Say that to Steppenwolf, because he definitely tugged on.
No, Darkseid was actually the one that pulled on Superman.
Okay.
Did Steppenwolf pull on Superman?
It's just at the beginning. At the beginning of the Snyder cut. Is it Steppenwolf the one that has who has Superman and just like crushing Superman? Who is that?
That was Doomsday. That was Doomsday.
Okay, Doomsday tugged on.
Yeah, he did tug on Superman's cape.
So
yeah.
you just got to be the right person.
Watch. Remember, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman Ultimate Cut, then Wonder Woman, and then Justice League Snyder Cut. All
right.
That's 12
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and into our final segment. This is the fight card. If I can find my mouse, there we go. All right, War Weekend continues with 3 more cards this week. We've got Bellator 257, Nemkov versus Davis. Of course, this is the next round of the next set of fights in the first round of the light heavyweight Grand Prix. We got 4 fights on the main card. We got Paul Simtex Daly versus Sabah Homasi. You got Veda Artiaga versus Desiree Yanez. Corey Anderson, in his first round of the light heavyweight Grand Prix, is fighting a person who has lots of letters in their name. I'll let you go ahead and pronounce that, John Keith.
There's a lot of consonants in there.
Dovletson Yagshimaradov. Dovletson Yagshimaradov. There you go.
I'm surprised your furniture didn't start floating. Okay, on that.
And then you got Vadim Nemkov versus Phil Davis. We're gonna pick the Phil Davis fight. And the only reason why is because Vadim Nemkov, of course, is the guy who blew the bricks off of Ryan Bader to take the light heavyweight title. Phil Davis, of course, we know him from the UFC and then some of the work that he's done in Bellator. So who do you have? Nemkov versus Phil Davis in the first round of the light heavyweight Grand Prix. Who you got?
I like Phil Davis, man. Mr. Wonderful is still a force of nature. I think it was, I don't want to say, well, he left on bad terms from the UFC. He didn't leave because he had a losing record. He left because they were having problems behind the scenes. So yeah, it was this one. Phil Davis going to Bellator was definitely UFC's loss.
All right. Lepidolite also says that he's got Phil Davis. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're both wrong. I should do Lee Corso. You're all on Phil Davis. I got Vadim Nemkov. The dude is the freaking champion, guys. This guy, Coker said that this guy is nothing to be trifled with. Arguably, he believes with the departure of John Jones, he believes that Vadim Nemkov is the best light heavyweight in the world right now. So we'll see. I got Phil Davis losing to Nemkov in the first round.
Okay.
This question came from our audience. Triller Fight Club. Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, Saturday, April 17, 2021 at 9 p.m. Eastern in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We're only going to talk about this one fight because none of the other fights even remotely matters. Not that this one matters either, but this is the main event. Jake the Problem Child Paul versus Funky Ben Askren. Of course, Jake Paul is 2-0. Funky Ben Askren is in his professional boxing debut. So who do you have in this fight? Do you have Ben Askren or do you have Jake Paul?
I have Ben Askren for the simple fact that, while Jake may come in there and try to box, Ben is a fighter. He's going to go in there. He is going to clinch. He is going to grind him. He is going to fight him. It's not going to, it looks good on paper, but I think in actuality, I see Ben, wearing down Jake Paul, and then he's going to have his way with him.
Lepidolite has Jake Paul. Personally, for me, I can't pick Jake Paul, even though he may win this fight, and I'm going on record saying he will probably win this fight. I cannot pick Jake Paul. It is against my religion. Anyway, the religion of fight game. I am picking Ben Askren on spec. I don't care. I'm picking Ben Askren. All right. In the UFC Vegas 24, Whitaker versus Gastelum, Saturday, April 17th, 2021 in the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got 6 fights on the card. Drakkar Klose versus Jeremy the Little Heathen Steven. We got Andrei Arlovsky versus Chase Sherman. We've got Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Jacob Malkoun. You've got Alexander Munoz. There's no inye on the end.
No, there's no thing over the Munoz.
Yeah, there's no thing. So I I'm trying to use my punctuation versus Luis Pena, who is the violent Bob Ross. Yeah. You got Bill Algeo versus Ricardo Ramos. And in the main event of the evening, you've got Robert Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. We're only going to pick the main event here. Who you got, Whitaker versus Gastelum?
I'm going to take Whitaker. I think Whitaker may have his mind right. And, nothing against Gastelum. I mean, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good ground battle. I think they're both going to wrestle each other to death. Hopefully.
No, I think Whitaker's the superior striker. I think he's the complete fighter. I got Whitaker as well. And looks like Lepidolite agrees as well. So there you have it. Follow us on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Combat Sports Talk. Mr. Keys.
I'm at Keys to Victory, and that's Keys with an ES.
All right. Kelechi, in his absence, is at Push Pull Pray. And George G-Money Stallworth is at Darkside_Muay Thai_. You can find us at our website at www.combatsportstalk.com, and we are on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. We'll just pop that up right here for those of you to be able to see it. There you go.
That way.
Shout out to MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, MMA Mania, Bloody Elbow, and the Intelligent Defense Discussion Group, who's look at that. Too. There it is right there. Look for this on Facebook.
There it is.
For all the other stories that are providing the stories that we use on the show, a lot of these conversations that we have start off on the Intelligent Defense Discussion Group. So definitely check us out there on Facebook. So with that, on behalf of John Keys, my name is Ryan Smith, reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and throw bombs. We'll catch you next time.